this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. And we also have a yacht all day. So we have a lot going on, and so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about each aspect of this particular day. So first, the Sun aligning with Neptune. So your desire meets fantasy, meets idyllic, mental positioning, I guess. It is aligning you with your soul. It is reaching into your soul, and it is asking you very important questions. Most of this has to do with the fact, do you believe in hope? Do you believe in faith? Do you believe that there is something more for you than, what you've currently been experiencing? And then you have to idealize yourself out of your situation. Meaning, if you are in a situation where you are about to do a radical change, because we have a lot of Aquarian energy, then the next step is do you believe that you can do it? So what you do is you ideally picture an outcome. And we used to do this tons when we were younger, and as you get older, you become much more reality-based and less fantasy-based. And do you remember how easy it was to materialize things when you were younger versus now that you're older? It's because we let life stand in the way of really focusing our energy in a progressive fashion. When we were younger, it came easy to us because all we had was hope. We had never had, for many of us, we hadn't had disappointment. And even if we had, we did not hope for our situation now. We hoped for the future. So we were always kind of geared toward that future outcome, that future goal. And it was super easy for us to do because we really idealized life. As you get older, you start to lose touch with that idyllic fantasy, that hope, that dream that things can be different, because as you went through probably some karmic lessons or karmic, relationships, what you ended up finding is that life has a tendency to repeat patterns in order to teach you that. But you think that you're just destined and fated for these horrible situations, when in fact it was just the universe asking you to pay attention to this part of you, and you kept having to learn those lessons over and over again until the universe felt that you were ready for that next chapter in your life. Well, I'm here to say, and this is something that I, deeply, deeply believe, that I think we're there. I think that we are at a point of dramatic change. I think as Uranus is in Aries and it's been squaring off with Pluto, I think there has been some challenge to break free from that psychological programming where we believe that we need to collectively pursue what is socially acceptable. And now what we're doing is we're actually moving toward individual satisfaction, individual freedom, individual rights to express yourself, and then to stand out in somewhat of a unique fashion instead of blending in and being accepted in some sort of collective fashion. So as we're doing that, we have this beautiful alignment as kind of a burst of positive energy. Now, there's a couple ways this can go, because Pisces represents the 12th house as well. To me, this also suggests for many of you that there's an ending to a delusion, or an ending to an illusion that things will be different, or that where you're putting all your money, like if you are, if you're playing roulette and you're putting all your money on red, and you believe that red's that winning color, for many of you, black was the winning color. And so you're going to experience this cumulative energy and this ending. But I love that it's being backed up by Neptune and Chiron, all conjunct the Sun, really enforcing the fact that you can still cling to a hope and a dream and a belief that you deserve more than this. And I think that that's almost more important than getting that delusion fulfilled for many of you, because it gives you the courage and the strength to endure and move on in the face of adversity. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's an absolute fact. And also, what you resist persists. So the 12th house is kind of that house of suffering. And so if some of you are resisting progression, then guess what? You're probably getting a lot of progressive opportunities, and it's overwhelming you. Also, when we have Neptune conjunct our sun, what we can experience is confusion. Lots of foggy confusion. You're very emotional right now. You're very intuitive. There's lots of stimuli. It's very difficult to decipher where to focus yourself. And so for some of you, there's just a lack of focus. We're in very scattered energy. You know, Saturn right now is in immutable energy. Jupiter is in a mutable energy. The North Node is in a mutable energy. The South Node's in a mutable energy. So I think there's a lot of confusion as to where to focus. It also makes you adaptable, and it makes you pliable to ideas. It makes you, I don't know, easier to talk to. It expands you a little bit easier when you're mutable. You're like a piece of clay. You're being molded right now. I think many of you are open to that. You know, you want to be molded by something. You want to break free. And so you're willing to open you up. So there's positives and negatives with everything, every energy. But I believe that the biggest positive impact that I could say, the highest vibration of all of this energy moving forward, especially into this week and into next week, is the fact that you have to embrace letting go of areas that you suffer in. And you have to understand where you've suffered and why you've suffered and what were the karmic causes, what were the karmic lessons in each one of those suffering. And if we were to embrace those, you know, and have them reinforced, that's okay right now. If some of us are getting those ideas reinforced, that's fine too, because we probably just needed to isolate. It's very confusing. There's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of energy thrown at us, and there's been a lot of dramatic change and shifts and turns. And so it's okay that we're confused. It's okay that we're caught in our brains right now. We're lost a little bit. We're trying to find, you know, we see that faint light off in the distance, but we're not quite to it. Just know that, you know, we're at the end. To me, this is like the end of the year. And as when we start off, to me, is in March. That's like a new year for me, because March officially kind of starts off all of, you know, the eclipses, and we get that big dramatic go there type arrow pointing. And as we're releasing ourselves, and we're focusing, and we're healing, and as we're, you know, recharging, and as we're trusting our intuition right now, that's leading us up for all the energy that's coming. And as soon as we drop into Aries, that's the beginning of the new year, because that's the beginning of the zodiac. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to telling you how this is going to affect your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. Hi Aries, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the sun aligning with Neptune while there is a Yod today. So your ruler has been sitting in a very transformative part of the zodiac. You have been really being asked to manifest them and adapt to some change. In this energy, your ruler is really entangled in Aquarian energy, and it is actually conjunct with, Mercury is conjunct with Venus, and they're having a difficult conversation during this alignment. So I'm going to start out with the positive, and I'm going to end with the negative. So the positive is this energy is going to awaken the desire and make radical changes, not to overthink your situation, to rely on your intuition, which is aligned with what your soul desires, and to say the hell with the consequences. This is very radical energy, and as you get fired up and feisty and there's a little bit of resentment for whatever situation you put yourself into, or whatever situation this is, or whatever psychological suffering that you keep putting yourself through time and time again. There's a sense of breaking free. It's an awakening. You're done. There's no need for it. You're ready to kick a little ass. Some of you may be compelled to make a drastic change solely based on your intuition. It's an ideal time to trust your gut versus logic. So I think what's happening right now is we've got this water energy, which is where your ruler is right now. It's highly intuitive. So you are instinctually wanting to act on your intuition. But then logic is coming into this situation and is asking you, is challenging that. And that can be where the difficulty lies for you, because you are a very rational, very logical person, but you're also very impulsive and very responsive to Aquarian energy. But your ruler is sitting in water. And your ruler is really heavily influenced by all of this fellow water energy, which is the sun and Neptune. So you have these heightened senses of, like, you're kind of lost in your thoughts. You're confused to which way to go, because your gut says one way and perhaps logic says another, or perhaps those two are, perhaps you're just in an inner conflict. Perhaps there's the confusing situation that you're getting yourself into is there's a dramatic change associated with it. And although you're not scared of making a change, your gut may be telling you to be a little bit more on the conservative side and to withdraw and to hold back and to take a chill pill, when all of you is saying, F this, I'm taking action. So you may be having that conflict. Intuitively, I think you know that you're destined for a different outcome. Something may shock you that suddenly you'll know what to do. I think if you can embrace your intuition, which is the highest form of vibration, if you want to keep yourself high and not get pulled into the square, I deeply believe, that is definitely the energy to put yourself into. Now, the negative vibration for you is that your mind is going to become overloaded with stress, expectation, remorse, loss. For some of you, what's going to happen is your intuition is telling you to do something, but logic is saying, you know what, you've done that before and this is where it got you. And so logic says, don't do that again. But there's a belief, there's a feeling, there's something else guiding you to make a decision that logic might find foolhardy. And so there lies the conflict, and it definitely has something to do with the way that you're thinking about it or interpreting it, or the way that your mind is associating it. And it could have something to do with, for many of you, with a partnership, a union, a close bond of some sort that you're finding this turmoil with and you're trying to make this decision about. You may be overemphasizing your point in this energy. It's very difficult for you when you get spun up emotionally for you to not act impulsively. So as you're caught in a square, and as your ruler's in all this water-based energy, and it's combined with the sun and Neptune, what can happen is that you can start to become the need for impulsive gratification is now for you, because some of you are lost and confused and you don't like being out of control, because you're usually leading the show, not following. And in this energy, your intuition is the leader, but you would much rather have logic play into it. So I think that that's a conflict for some of you. You may have to start really paying attention to your gut, because you may have a startling revelation that may make you emotionally vulnerable, and it may make you want to retreat and isolate yourself. You're looking back, and I think for many of you, there is a lot of new concepts, new opportunity, new ways for monetary expansion. But emotionally, how vulnerable do you feel when you're getting these things? Or these opportunities, or when you're being asked to expand? There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of rebellious, and there's a lot of energy asking you to make these changes. But every time you've done it in the past, it has led you to kind of, you end up suffering, you end up taking care of somebody or taking care of the issue. You dump a lot of money into it, and then it doesn't actually pay off. So for some of you, I see this as being a very monetary based versus emotional. So for some of you, this emotional issue is where you don't want to focus on your emotion. Of course, that's what's you're being guided to do, but you don't want to, because you have this focus on monetary gain and protecting your assets. And so for some of you, it's very, very substantial. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi Taurus, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. So today, I think this is a very lovely energy for many of you as you move forward through this transit. This week, you're going to have the Sun and Neptune and Chiron all doing a dance together, all in like energy. So this is very cumulative energy. Pisces is the end of the zodiac. It's also that 12th house realm. So there's a sense of it working deeply in your mind. But for you, this also has to do with hope. I see hope being the key word here. I see that you're holding on to a dream, holding on to a wish. You're fantasizing, and that's very thrilling for some of you. Now, your ruler is sitting in Aquarius, and so you're really thinking about your purpose. You're really thinking about the pleasures of so what you're doing is you're attaching monetary gain and the possibility to whatever's motivating you to move forward, and that is wonderful. That is a great way to stay motivated and focused on an outcome. So this is going to be a lovely transit for you. You are inspired and hopeful in this energy. You will feel like you have put the worst behind you. I think for many of you, this is about progressing forward. You've lived your time of suffering. You understand what it's like to be emotionally barren, and that there is loss, and what you're trying to do now is to feed the parts of you that make you you, which is these earthbound, tangible things. As long as you are settled, your feet are settled, your home is settled, you're starting to move forward and making monetary gains, you're being very practical, there's hope, there's a future that you see as being stable, that provides you with momentum. And that's why this energy is so lovely for you, because your ruler also is having a beautiful conversation with Saturn and Uranus. So this is about the end, letting go, and progressing forward, but it's also about getting control and moving away from and liberating yourself. These are all key words that you really need to attach to in this energy, because there's going to be some sort of unconventional aspect to all of this, I think, as we move forward. So for you, hopes, dreams, success, new beginnings make you very aligned with your imagination, love, the belief that you are divinely being guided and blessed. Finally, I feel for some of you, there's a rich connection in your life, a rich connection associated with somebody that you can share your ideas with, that seems to understand you. This could be somebody who is a deep union in your life. It could be a sibling or a family member that you're very close with. It could be friend or friends, but there's definitely energies that you're partnering with at this point that is guiding you. And it seems like there's some sort of divine intervention in this, because your heart seems to embrace this a little easier, because it's logic based as well. It just makes sense to follow this route for you, especially when you have this much hope and beautiful decadent energy associated with it. So You may feel that you are in control of your destiny and that fate is changing everything for the better. You're not stuck in this energy. You're free to expand, consider your alternatives, and that creates hope. So what happens in this energy, it is the most beautiful form of prime Taurian energy. It is taking the bull by the horns and it is moving forward. And it is moving forward and you're not scared to make a change. You feel like you have this belief system that you know that the changes you're going to make, it's going to elevate your life. And anytime that you get caught in that, that is when success is easy for you to attain, because you attach all of this energy to hope. And that's beautiful. So the negative vibration in this is protect your mindset. Don't let anything interfere with the hopeful energy. The energy that you have the ability to change your life and change your outcome. Don't let energy vampires deplete you in this energy. You're feeling good, so people are going to be drawn to you. And then guess what? They're going to start to feed off you, which is going to deplete your energy. Be selfish. You are focus on you, focus on outcomes, focus on positivity, because it is time for you to get some sort of reward. You've been suffering for quite some time. You've been floundering. You've been back and forth in energy. It's been super confusing. And I'm not saying that there's that the cloud is not still there, but there's a clarity. There's instinct, and you feel very intuitively guided. So even though if you were to judge your life monetarily on an outcome right now, you may not deeply align with exactly where you're at, but there's just something that you feel deeply is guiding you in the right direction. So there's a piece that's associated with that, because for you, it's easy to grasp that there's the belief system that something is coming. Focus on creating an outcome based on a new beginning. Let go of controlling and progressive and overly emotional people that mentally manipulate your energy and try to drag you into their world of fear and despair. You know, when we're in relationship, we attract relationships that test us often. And I believe that for you, it's a test. It's a test to see, are you able to maintain your high form of energy in the state of somebody else's confusion world, because you've been down this road before. Many of you have walked this road maybe a couple times. And, so this is your test from the universe. And this is the ending. This is the cumulative energy, because it's all Piscean energy. So just be mindful of the fact that if you're being tested, then you can pass it, right? You can pass it anytime you want to, because the bottom line is something is good for you and that you need to focus on you. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Gemini. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. So there's a couple things going on. Yes, we have this beautiful alignment, and but for you, more importantly, is you're really heavily involved in a yacht. And there's a lot being asked of you right now, especially when your ruler is being directly communicated with by this spiritual question, this big universal question. So your ruling planet is directly involved in a yacht that will be present for a few weeks. It does drop your energy and it goes into Venus, but then you're conjunct Venus. So you're always going to be playing into these yods as the energies shift. So at first it starts off with this yod. It's in Mercury and Aquarius, which is directly at the point to where we have the Sun and Neptune aligning. And then it drops into Venus, but you're still conjunct. So you're still, every time you hear about this yod, this has something to do with you specifically. The Sun is aligning with Neptune, and when your planet is involved in a yod, it can be quite monumental, especially when you're talking about the Sun, your desire, your soul, what develops your character, deep down who you are. is aligning with Neptune, and that's the planet that rules fantasy and hope and dreams and, you know, how we cope. And then Chiron will play in later on in this week, which is super important to understand. So, relationships are key. If you desire to expand your potential, there is a power in numbers. You know, although I'm not saying that you don't have the capability to make powerful changes on your own, you absolutely do. I do want to say that I think in this situation that you need to be talking and communicating, and with Mercury and Venus conjunct, it suggests that there's a relationship of somewhat unconventional standards that is really helping you to expand your beliefs and guide you in this energy. That is really aligning with the Sun and Neptune, which is this really beautiful cumulative energy that's kind of, to me, it's fated, it's karma, it's you know, destined conversations for many of you. Intuitively, you are being guided to explore a new concept, a direction in your career, a life path, destiny, a fated way to go for many of you. The direction of your career is dramatically going to change. For many of you, you're in a state of metamorphosis, and you're actually just at that point where you're starting to venture out of a lifetime right now. You're actually dramatically changing your outcome. You are optimistic about the risk, and you feel inspired to make a drastic change. You like drastic change. This is super drastic energy. It's dramatic energy. It's really revitalizing you and your hopes. You are comfortable in unique settings and you feel accepted. Expressing yourself is seamless in this energy, and going back to school is a very magical energy for you. So there's no need to look back. This is an accumulative energy. Pisces energy is the end of the zodiac, and then the eclipses, we really start to just really burst open our potential. I always look at the like March is like the beginning of the new year. And so we're at the end of the year, all the cumulative energies, we work through all of the signs up to this point. We're now at that Piscean point where we finally reached here. What did we learn this year? How did our soul grow? What have we aligned our character with? What kind of fantasies do we have? What kind of dreams? What kind of hopes? With the yacht in place for you, when you got Jupiter and the North Node at the top, and then you've got your ruler and this quincunx, this is how do you move forward? How do you structure yourself? How do you live up to all of your responsibilities while seeking this new path? There's a lot being asked of you, and you could feel a little bit overwhelmed. And so you're going to, friends will be good for you. Social circles will be accepting of your changes. But I do dramatically feel that those social circles and those friends are going to change, but in a more supportive fashion for you. There's a lot of expansion in this energy. It's going to leave you feeling a little bit spun up. So in a negative vibration, some of you may feel discouraged by a family member who does not understand this drastic change. So now you've got these friends supporting it, and maybe this close relationship supporting you, guiding you. You're making lots of big changes, but there's this family member that may be kind of pooping on your parade a little bit. Your open-minded belief systems can be challenged by a family member who raised you or strongly influenced you. So perhaps this new belief system is non-contemporary, and it's not like conventional belief systems. And so for you, this energy is really fueling you to expand everything, but more importantly, your beliefs. More importantly, that you're holding on. These drastic changes you're making are based on a belief system that is very difficult for other people to embrace if it's not based on conventional methods, or that what people understand or how you were raised. So just know that some of you could have tough conversations. You may feel suddenly inspired to make a move that takes you away from family. So for some of you, this could be moving, and there could be a little bit of resentment because you're making some space at this point. Some of you working in low vibration may feel a lack of control mentally as you try to make sense of all these drastic changes and sudden mindset changes. So it's disheartening when we venture out and we move away from and we create new outcomes. I mean, it's exhilarating, but there's a lot of pressure to live up to expectation, maybe. And I think most of this is going to be solely based on the way that you're feeling about yourself and about the fact that you've probably tried to take risks in the past and failed, or, you know, you probably look back, but there's just, you feel deeply, intuitively, because the Sun and Neptune and Chiron is going to be playing into this, that big changes will change your monetary outcome. So for many of you, this isn't a question of, you know, should you? It's a question of you have to, and when do you make the move? And that's probably the confusing part, is am I doing everything is the timing right? Radically changing a ritual or habit to accommodate your changing environment can intensify anxiety. So for some of you, your coping methods, when Jupiter and the North Node are at the top of the yod, this is what rituals do how do you cope when you're in the midst of pressure cooking, which we are, and there's a lot of directions you could go, and your beliefs are radically changing. There's a sense of how do you stabilize or harness any of this energy. So for some of you have these rituals, and even maybe your environment may not be allowing you to do that, because we have a lot of environmental pulls on us. You know, we've got Pluto in Capricorn, we've got squaring off with Uranus. You know, there'll be times this next week that we have outer planets really stretching us in positive ways, but they're all in these outer planetary. So it's all about moving away from and making big changes and, you know, seeking new lifestyles. I mean, it's big stuff. So there can be a sense that, you know, it'll knock the twins a little out of kilter and make them scatter. This is very scattered energy. It's sometimes your decision you're not going to know if you're making the right decision, because there's so much information. There's many ways that could play out. How do you know you're making the right choice? Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Cancers. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces, aligning with Neptune in Pisces. So Pisces energy is a fellow energy, and the moon right now is training this event. So it's beautiful for you. There's a sense of peace. It's a sense of, like, intuitively you feel like everything that's happening in your life is kind of fated and ordained. I think that you have the belief system that what you are aligning yourself with is okay with you. You don't need it to be more at this point. I think that you know to kind of sit back in this energy and see what happens. And I think you're divinely guided to do so. So you're, like, okay with doing that. I think you're feeling like in this particular energy that, you know, you need to kind of sit back and watch the show. I think that you know that sometimes just observing energy and the way that it comes forward in your life and it manifests change, you believe that what will be, and, you know, there's a sense of peace in that. And sometimes, and I think you're so blessed in this energy, because when your Sun aligns with Neptune, it can align with hope and the freedom to fantasize and believe in something that isn't truly you know, in the physical realm. It's more in the spiritual realm or more in your mind. And I believe that for now, you're okay with that, and that you don't even want to explain it to others, because I believe that for some of you, you know that you need to make the changes. You know that for some of you, you know that these changes are going to please you. You're going to be happy in the end. So you don't need to control or manipulate energy, because you feel that you are floating down the river and it's just such a smooth little ride right now. And it's making you feel, and even though there's anxiety and there's still this, you're energetically connected. So even though there's a lot of energy buzzing around right now, I do believe that in your mind is where your peace lies, which for a Cancer is so good. So I do believe that I think you're going to have some wonderful conversations. I think some of you have some expectations and you're ready to draw some boundaries. And you're ready to align yourself with them. And the consequences are what the consequences are. You know that fate will take care of you in the end. You have the belief system that you're being guided and protected. So you don't feel the need to, like, if for instance, if you need to speak your mind about something, somebody isn't doing something, somebody isn't being responsible, you don't have a problem speaking up right now, because if the consequence is not ideal, you're cool with it. And that is such a blessing. And it's so healing. I believe that you are the rock right now for others in your life. I believe that you're the rock at work. I believe right now you're the stability in your household. You're the person that is providing the guidance. And there is something special about you. And I think it's because so much is being poured into you. It's like you're not being depleted at this point. It's like if somebody starts to deplete you, you've got enough spiritual connection. You're being divinely filled all the time. So you're a healer in this energy. I deeply believe, for some reason I can't explain why, but I do believe. I believe that there's just such newness and such hope. And I believe that it's just easy for you to attach to it, which is hugely optimistic for a Cancer who can get lost in their past at sometimes. Where you lose power in this energy is when you start to get connected to Aquarian energy and you start to have to fight about ideas. Here's what I suggest that you do. Sit back and let divine intervention take hold of your situations. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you try to force your ideas and your mindsets, your elevated mindsets, I believe who you're going to be talking to, especially if it has to do with siblings, or if it has to do with your children, or if it has to do with your significant partnerships, I believe that they're going to want to fight you because they're not so divinely guided at this point. Maybe some of them are working in the lower realms. And so you don't need to, as long as your intuition is telling you that your mindset is on track, then I would do what I'm divinely guided to do, and then I would let it go and see what the universe does with it. Because I believe that you're the fated union for some people as a teacher in this energy. It's beautiful energy, I do believe, but I'm not saying that it feels good to do that all the time. As you become somebody, maybe they'll try to sting you with their words. They'll try to get a reaction from you. They'll do some unexpected thing to stir you up, but you're going to stay calm and serene in this energy because it's like, you're an idiot and I'm divinely guided, so I'm cool. Like, whatever you got to do to like make yourself feel better, but it doesn't faze me at all in this energy. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. Now for you, you are making, possibly some of you are going to make a big move. I think you're ready. I think you feel like the timing is right to make a change. I think that some of you have this intuition that if you start to add to your life, that it's going to increase your comfort zones. So for some of you, you may be making some commitments in this energy to help out somebody. For you, it could be somebody that you that you have great compassion for and that you need to be there for. There's some need to help them in a situation. So for some of you, you could be having somebody move in with you. It could be a family member that you're combining your life with, or that you're making a commitment to monetarily help take care of them in this energy. You're providing your assistance. Maybe you're the child providing for your parent in this energy. Kind of feel that. So I definitely feel that some of you may be helping a family member make a big change. So again, it could be somehow I feel like this, you're the child helping the parent in this energy, or you're the parent helping the child, but there is a difference between like elevated levels in age. This is about love and compassion. Intimacy may increase for some of you that are in committed bonds. So for some of you, you may be moving in together and agreeing to combine your resources, and in turn that's going to create in the future some monetary gains for some of you. For some of you, this can mean the birth of a child, finding out that you are pregnant, or the birth of a new or unique way of looking at your purpose or fated outcome. So the birth, we're at the end of the zodiac and we're almost right at the beginning of it. So we're at this blissful point, and the Sun and Neptune align, and Chiron comes into play, where there's just this fated moment in time where all energy comes together, and it's very fruitful energy. So for some of you, this is in the fertility side of your chart. So it could mean you get pregnant. It could mean that there is the birth of a new concept, a new idea, a theory, and it has the potential to be monetary gains. So for some of you, you may want to talk to your family and get your family on board, combine resources to get this off the ground for some of you. Creativity is beautiful and cleansing in this energy, and you may be working behind the scenes to get this idea going. There's a lot of talk in this energy. There's a lot of sharing of ideas. There's making commitments to move forward in this energy. There's a lot of love. Love is in the air for many of you. This is very, I believe that if some of you are starting to become intimate, this is starting to get to your heart. You know, you're seeing this union as something that could last a lifetime. It's the beginning, it's the end of being single and the beginning of sharing your life for somebody. That's what I see in this energy as well. The negative thing that could come out of this energy is that if you're still just trying to be little Mr. Don Juan, and, you know, you're really, you know, you're not ready to let go and pin yourself down, I believe that's a limiting mindset. And I believe what some of you may experience is that you may get pinned down by like a child, or you get somebody knocked up and it's like, well, I don't have any other choice but to, you know, be there for my family and start a new family. And it puts you down that road for some of you. So, this is the feeling of birth to me in a way that has to do with creativity. And so new concepts and new ideas are very rich, or really, really juicy information starts to come to you. And you really start to get excited. I believe for some of you in your unions, partnerships may be critical at this time as they start to really stimulate you to make some changes and to express yourself in unique ways that make you stand out. So negative vibration is, if some of you do not want children, then I suggest taking means to prevent that, because it's very fertile energy for you. So just be mindful of that and be very careful for some of you who are in intimate situations. Making drastic changes may make you feel adventurous, but beware of the consequences. So this is very radical energy. It's moving forward. It's risk-taking energy. It's optimistic. You're kind of full of yourself. Be mindful that you don't get yourself into a situation that has long-term consequences, because again, we're at the end of the energy. This is when you're in Piscean energy, it is about consequences. You know, it is about where you suffer. It is about being accountable for all what you do in the world. So base your future on hopeful, realistic outcomes, and the energy is, and all this energy is stirring up impulsiveness. And just be mindful of the fact that, yes, it's great to be impulsive right now, but it's really hard to know completely. There's so much information coming at you. It can be kind of confusing. If you're going to do anything, please rely on your gut, because you're extremely aligned with intuitive energy. Everybody is in this event. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Virgo. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. So today, your ruler is going to be involved in a yod, and some people call a yod like the finger of God, or that it's like just beautiful ordained question. And since your ruler is specifically involved in this yod, and then the yod kind of switches toward the week into Venus, but you're always conjunct, you are going to be a major player in the universe. So for you, this particular event is beautiful, but there is some issues that are going to start to come up that you're going to feel, and you're going to feel intuitively connected to, that I think is very important. So this is about breaking free from your conservative mindsets. And this is about moving forward in this new and outspoken way. And it's about change. It's about changing things up. Now, for you, this has to do with the fact that if you're seeking a relationship or you're seeking to maintain a relationship, this is about coming out of your shell a little bit. This is about doing things different. This is about pursuing, for some of you who are single, it's about pursuing completely different partners. These partners will then expand you and open you up, and it'll for some of you, you may have to move. For some of you, this could be some sort of cultural issue that you had never, maybe you are dating outside of your culture. That's breaking free from some of these conservative boundaries. It is about shaking up your routines too. For some of you who have gotten really ritualistic in your routines, this is about moving away from that and allowing expansion to come into your life through these very fated unions that you're going to be establishing. So you're going to have to be bold. You're going to have to be super open-minded, which I don't think is entirely impossible for you, but they're going to challenge you enough to get a little debatable in this energy, which is going to stimulate some really expansive thought processes. It's going to release your mind from past memories of failure. Don't isolate yourself or attempt to control the direction of that your life is going in this energy. I would suggest becoming fluid. Fluid is water. Just having the mindset and the belief that everything that's happening is kind of ordained and fated. And so if something's spicy or different or conversations happen, or there's some sort of off the wall situations come up, I would be really responsive to them, because there could be some sort of faded flair to them. Don't be afraid to avoid to voice your opinion or tell your partner how you feel in this particular energy. You know, this is about going after what you want. It's not about being afraid. It's about breaking free from holding yourself back. You know, restraining yourself. You know, this is that energy that, you know, Saturn is benefic and so there's no obstacles. In fact, it's all about being adventurous. And, you know, so for some of you, this has a lot to do with showing somebody who you really are. And for some of us, if we've got a little freak in us, we kind of downplay it and we only show it at certain times. Well, this energy is about accepting and embracing it. And perhaps somebody starts to come into your life or your relationship, you start to spice things up a little bit in your relationships, and it really expands that possibility. So what's positive about this is it's unlocking your potential. So if you're moving away from these conservative belief systems that are all earth-based, that you need to take things slow, that is going to keep you caught in quincunx energy, and you're going to feel unauthentic in this energy. You're not going to feel divinely guided. You're going to feel like you're going against the grain, right? But if you start to become more fluid like water, because all of this energy is in water, then you're going to start to see the flow of harmonious energy. In fact, it's even in a sextile, so it's even better than a trine, because you get to have really beautiful elevated experiences. So don't let work routine stand in the way of taking a family trip, socializing, taking care of your health and your appearance. This is about mixing it up, getting out there. I would even suggest in this energy to make yourself kind of stand out. Make yourself appealing to the people that really like a little bit something different. So some of you are kind of those people that kind of have that quiet, soft-spoken, you don't really like to stand out. It would be getting a voice in this energy and people going, whoa, I didn't even know that could come from this person. That will break free this yod, but more importantly, this is very energetically ordained. In order for you to go get what you want, this energy is testing you. When the North Node went into Virgo, it's about ascending. So it's about moving forward. It's about creating new routines and new rituals. And it is about expanding. It's not about just being the mouse that gets on the mouse wheel and going around and around in the same circle and producing the same results. It's about doing things different in this energy. And therefore, you start to align yourself with some very beautiful and unique fated opportunities that really open up expansion. It's beautiful energy for those that are ready to embrace the energy. Now, this is getting in touch with the water-based energy and a little bit of the softer side of yourself. I think for some of you, this is about opening up to your feelings, opening up to your partners. I mean, you're always going to have a somewhat disconnected flavor to the way that you deal with things, but I think it's very important that you understand, just how important it is that look, they need to see who you are, and you can't mold yourself to what they want to see. You need to become fixed in this energy somewhat. So even though it's water, you need to become fixed somewhat. It's difficult. So we've got all this Aquarian energy. It's very fixed and forward and outspoken, and they don't care. There's no filters. But for you, there's all those things. So you're going to have to become fixed in that way where you will let that go. And then you're going to have to understand that it's intuitively guided what you're doing right now. So just trust your gut, trust your responses, your automatic impulses, trust all of those, because I believe that you're going to be deeply aligned in the end with what is going to happen in your life. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi Libra, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. Now for you, your ruler is conjunct with Mercury, and it is having the most beautiful, beautiful conversation right now with Saturn and Uranus. So, sharing your ideas at work are starting to pay off. In this energy, it's very possible that you're expanding your social circles by donating your time to some humanitarian causes would be the most ideal way to stay in a positive vibration. It's time to take a risk with a partner, adding some romance, a little bit of flavor to a relationship. And this will open you guys up for expansion and closeness. It'll kind of pull you closer as well. This is just the lover, not a fighter energy. It's very decadent energy for you. Libran energy meshes very well with Piscean energy. And in the universe, those are cosmic connections. Those are fated cosmic connections. And so for many Libras have been connected with many Pisces in their lives. And it's to soften them up and open them up because they're such decadent creatures to like bite into. This energy is going to feel very delicious. It's very pleasure-seeking energy, so be mindful of getting lost in the pleasure-seeking and getting a little too unrealistic in what you're attaching to, because you're going to be caught in pursuing pleasure more than the reality of your situation. But it's just beautiful, dreamy energy because that partner is really, really getting into your mind, and it's a sharing of souls in this experience. So for those of you that are in relationships, it's time to be daring, experimental, outspoken. You're going to shock your partners just to see what it stirs up. You've been doing this for a while. I think you like the sport of this particular activity. It allows you to shine a little bit intellectually in this energy. For some of you that are into playing in this energy, you're single. This is great playful energy to be out there flirting and making yourself known. It's very flittering about. You're scattering your energies. You're scattering the potential partnerships. So many of you may be latching or some people may be latching onto you thinking they're going to be the one that gets picked. But some of you could be opening up expansive opportunities in like who you're attracting. Lots of potential there. It's time to buy an outfit and stand out. I would say take a risk in this energy. I would do as much risky things in this energy as I can to get attention because it's such beautiful energy to do that. The negative energy is that you don't want to hold back as it will lower your vibration. You don't want to get lost in your mind and start overthinking it and thinking about the consequences. Don't go there. Don't try to get too controlling and feel like, because then what's going to happen is you're going to start to control yourself or manipulate. And that's not what you're about in this energy. It's about free love. It's about like being a freaking hippie. Just love, make love, not war energy. And that is going to be so beautiful because you're beautiful energy. Anyway, you attract whomever you want. But this energy is about attracting them on a mental level. And that decadent taste of being mentally stimulated by pleasure. I feel like some of you are going to be along those lines. It's incredibly beautiful, creative energy full of lots of new ideas about business and partnering and who you could partner with and who could align you with some monetary financial support. That's possible in this energy as well. It's about I would take trips for some of you. I would go away on long weekends. I would be out and about socializing as much as possible because that's very wonderful. Children are wonderful. You're loving, compassionate, spending time with your kids is really going to rev you up and make you feel wonderful for those of you that have kids. If you act on your impulses, you may feel like you have to control the fallout. So for some of you, you're going to get so lost in all this Piscean energy that you're going to feel you're going to scatter all your energy, and then you're going to think, God, should I have done that? You're going to get lost in your mind. We don't want to get lost in our mind at all, because we're not trying to control anything. What we're trying to do is put as much out there and see what magnetically attracts to us. It's kind of like a lint with a lint brush right now. That's what we're going to be, a lint with a lint brush. We're wiping stuff and seeing how much lint is attracted to us. Not that lint's attractive, but you know what I'm saying. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Scorpio. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your daily horoscope and energy reading for the Sun in Pisces, aligning with Neptune in Pisces. Now, your ruler is a little cranky right now. And that's because you want to control energy. You like to feel like you are manipulating it to your advantage. And then you have all this crazy Aquarian energy out there really squaring off with all your water energy, making you feel a bit stirred up, uneasy. It's unpredictable. You don't have the control that you want to seek over it, or over a partner especially. Maybe your partner is just coming up with all these new ideas and you're like, who are you? Like, I'm used to being able to have more influence over your choices, and now you're trying to come up with all these new aspects, and they're being too outspoken, and they're really honestly just not making you feel completely aligned. So for some of you, you're kind of feeling like, ugh, like it's sandpaper in your bumhole. Like, it's just not good. So water energy is empowering you and providing you with a sense of personal satisfaction in a high vibration. If you are aligning not with Aquarian energy, that's rubbing you the wrong way. But if you're aligning with water-based energy, then I think you're just feeling aligned. You feel energetically connected in this energy. You are communicating effectively, which has been deeply healing in relationships that have a romantic intent, or with children. Some of you, I'm finding that with many of you, it's aligning yourself with your family and, you know, that foundation, that earthly foundation relationships. Friends are a great source of acceptance and harmonious flow of energy, especially friends who have a past, that are past related or on social media. I do deeply believe that for many of you, there's just this sense of peace. And there's a sense that they get you for who you are. You don't have to try to pretend to be somebody that you're not. These people get you. You are very aligned with the hopeful or altruistic energy in this. This energy really, when you attach to water energy, it just feels like you understand so much that people don't, and you see things that people don't, because you are not looking at their face and judging by face value, but you're judging by your gut and your intuition. And because it's so aligned in this energy, you may feel deeply aligned with what is being expected of you to learn. In this energy, you just want to be mindful that you are not overwhelming others with your advice, as you may become off a little bit blunt, emotionally disconnected. And you have to remember that the impact that your words have. So it can be very frustrating for you because you're aligned right now. You know what everybody else needs to do. You know what you need to do. People are used to coming to you for advice. And so you get a little frustrated when people don't want to follow your advice. And so you can, because of all this Aquarian-based energy, you could just be blunt and harsh and just be forceful in your opinions. You can have a kind of a ruthless edge to the way that you say things. You can be a little bit too free with your words and not always anticipate the consequence of your words. It's very Aquarian-based energy. You may feel that you need to defend the rights of others. You feel that are less fortunate than you. So for some of you, you're going to be sticking up for people, and you're going to be a little bit harsh with your words. And then you're going to be, you want people to be able to have freedom and to find a way to stand out in this energy. You may be judgmental. For many of you, it is in this, you could be harshly judging. So if they're not accepting your mindset, you feel like they're just stupid because you clearly see it, and you know that this is a fated mindset and conversation, and they're just not as intuitively connected as you are. And so it's frustrating, because then that's when all the Aquarian energy comes out and throws a big foobar in the way that you're trying to say things. So just remember to attach to water-based energy, because then there'll be more compassion that will follow up the harsh mindsets and these judgments that you're making. The judgments that you're making probably are elevated, probably are right, but that doesn't matter. They've got to be well received for them to be effective. So in this energy, it's just always be mindful of the fact that it is in the delivery how we are truly, like, when we're trying to influence people, we're trying to guide people, when we're trying to help people, when we're trying to be there for people, especially if it's our friends and our family, people we're super comfortable with. You tend to have that overbearing personality. You can be much more aggressive in this energy than assertive. If you're attaching to the negative vibration, if you're attaching to this elevated, then you're so deeply healing. You're a guiding light. You're lighting their way through their darkness. I mean, you guys truly are these like gorgeously spiritual creatures. It's just, be mindful of the energy that you attach yourself to, because it's going to be very easy for you to attach yourself to energy and get lost in the energy whichever way you go. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Sagittarius. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. So for you, your ruler, is in a very, very big monumental event. I think it's even more monumental than the actual Sun and Neptune aligning. You are caught up in this yacht for the next 2 weeks, and you are being quincunxed. Your ruling planet is being quincunxed. So for me, there's opposition for you, or I sense there's opposition. I sense that all of this Aquarian energy is making you want to make some big dramatic changes in your family. You want to change routines and rituals, and you want to move forward, and you want to have the freedom to do so. And then you've got this family situation that's going on for many of you, and you're having to be deeply compassionate, and a lot of time and faculty, and you're providing stability and support, but it's taking away from this it just gnaws at you that there's this thing you got to do with your career, life path, destiny, and this is just off timing. I feel deeply for many of you, and I believe that as you figure this out, as you figure out why you're going through this, and what impact you have, or what is your part in this whole entire thing, I think it will start to clarify the reason why you were chosen to be something that guided them through their storm. Or for many of you, it is about understanding that you need to balance. For many of you, it's like you get really caught up in what pleases you. So if you're doing a really good job at work, you become a workaholic. If you are really into going out and, pleasure seeking, you get really lost in pleasure seeking. You do a lot of things to extreme. But I think this energy is about creating balance and balancing duty and rituals with compassion and love for others. This is all about serving others in this energy. And for many of you, you may have been primarily, and I don't think you serve yourself because you know better. Your mind is elevated, so you know that you need to donate all of this time, which it looks like you're being selfish, but there's a larger purpose to it that people don't understand. But now it's coming down to you can't even do that right now, because you've got this situation going on And it's really conflicting with the fact that you have these duties and responsibilities that you are needing to uphold as well. And it's just causing a crisis for you. So you are confident and you do feel decadently secure in the world when you're pursuing your dream. You do want to dedicate yourself to a work routine and make it happen, yet you have all these confines in your life with, it's either got something to do with your children, it could have something to do with your siblings, it could have something to do with the fact that, you know, for some of you, you've got to be there for an ailing parent, but it's something that you have got to put your time into. You don't get to get away with delegating it out. So it is hard to know exactly where to dedicate your energy because your responsibilities have deeply increased. So for some of you, your workload has gotten bigger, and then how can you get home and be there for your family, especially if you're starting out a new relationship? How do you nurture that new relationship when you've got extra work duties piling? Jupiter expands everything it touches, and it's expanding your quincunx right now. So for some of you, it could be expanding a health issue of a family member or somebody you need to take care of. It could be expanding work duties and responsibilities. It could be expanding all of your responsibilities. And then how do you pull off having a relationship, a new relationship, relationships with your kids, siblings, trying to figure out something, try to keep your mind all centered. It's very difficult. So this alignment will help you align with your intuition. So follow your deepest, if you can take some time, if you have any, I would spiritually align myself with where I'm at, because I think there's something significant about this time where you need some downtime in order. For some of you, there could be some clarity that happens when you finally go to sleep at night. Like you might get that enough clarity for you to know the right decision, especially if you're seeking any kind of purpose or clarification. I deeply believe some of you will find that in those quiet moments right before you go to sleep, or right before you go into that deep REM sleep. You're going to get some clarity, or that point where right before you wake up in the morning, or that half sleep is a great place to find, just utter peace away from all the stimuli that's out there. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi Capricorn, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. So, your ruler is squaring off with this event, and Saturn is squaring all of the Piscean energy. So that is the Sun, Neptune, and Chiron. So to me, there is something that you need to face. There is something that is going to provide you with great clarity. It's going to define how you identify with this sense of clarity. It is having to do with your mind and the way that you're interpreting and you're seeing it. It's about moving forward and moving away from, but more importantly, it's that place in your mind where you're trying to decipher something and where you're getting lost in it and where it can feel overwhelming and stressful, and it can create a lot of anxiety. There's this need to expand, and as you're expanding, I think you're and I think what it is you're having to be much more adaptable in energy than I think primarily you're used to. Primarily, you're used to it all going in one direction all the time and you being in complete command and control of where energy is going. But in this energy, lately, it has been very scattered and unpredictable, and it's frustrating, and there can be a feeling of there's a lack of control. And whenever you get in a state of lack of control, then you get very, very dramatic, and you get caught up in trying to control. You act out and you take out your moods on people that don't have anything to do with the situation, because there's a sense of needing to control something. And so you'll start to obsess in this energy in ways of like, well, if I can't control this, I'm going to control this person's routine, this person's life, this situation. So you can have a tendency to do that when you get lost in this energy. So for some of you, maybe making a plan or gathering information right now. You're thinking through something, and this is deep thinking. This is going to that 12th house area. It's all this Pisces energy. Many of you may feel intuitively that you may need to face something regarding a friend, a sibling, a neighbor. You will be working behind the scenes to deal with this inevitable energy. So for you, you know it's coming. You know that you have to do something about something. And there's so much energy pointing you that direction, but it could be very difficult for you in this particular energy, with it being squared, for you to know exactly what decision to make. So of course you do a lot of thinking. A partner that you value or a friend maybe indirectly help you figure out to see what this looming issue is. So for some of you, you're going to get the answers in strange ways. It'll be probably from people that are closest to you, and it'll probably some story about somebody else, but it directly relates to your situation that you're not letting people in on, and it's giving you ideas. That's highly possible in this. You may suffer in silence, so be mindful of being blunt and forward. Just know that and I know you guys don't like to face this, and I get a lot of really negative comments from Capricorns when they get mad at me because, you know, if I'm being too real and too blunt, it comes off wrong, right? You don't like it. Well, neither do other people. So be mindful of the impact of your words, and be mindful of the impact of your actions, and the dominance and the strength and the power that you have when you're trying to figure all this out, because you can come off wrong and people can misinterpret you very easily. Even though you outwardly may come off a bit cold, on the inside you may be feeling deeply compelled to speak up for someone who may be suffering in silence. So for you, you need to take care of a situation. You're the voice. You're the one that needs to shake things up a bit. You're the one that needs to give people reality checks, because this is what's really going on. And you're going to say things instinctually on your mind, and they're going to be very Aquarian based, because our words are going to be in Aquarian, influenced by Aquarian energy. So what comes off, just try to think before you speak. So align yourself with compassion and remember the consequences of your words. I can't emphasize that enough in this energy, because you can deeply hurt somebody. And even though you're doing it for strictly compassionate reasons, you're trying to save the day as normal. You're the one that's, always been the one that took care of everything for the family, made sure everything was going in the right direction. But just be mindful of the impact that you can actually make on people's lives, especially in this energy. Because even though you're coming to somebody's aid, and even though you're given some great advice, it could come off deeply in the wrong way if you're not careful. I want to say that this is definitely family related. It definitely has to do with the people that you grew up with, or people you've known for a very long time, who's helped shape and mold you and align you with what you value. It could have to do with property, real estate. You could be giving there could be settling estate issues, lining up wills. Like, it's something to do with tangible property as well for many of you. Could be, you having to make the decision about how the house is going to be redone, or, so you're going to have those tough conversations about, okay, this is the direction we're going. You're just putting everything everywhere. You're not directing your energy right. And I'm going to be the one that tells you how to direct. Just be mindful. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner. And I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi Aquarius, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. Now for you, in a positive vibration, this energy, you're very hopeful. For some of you that are caught in the most beautiful sides of energy, you've been working hard, you went through the worst, now you're starting to reap the rewards. You're moving forward, you're starting to align with positive energy and hopeful outcomes. You are starting to feel valued, accepted, and sharing your thoughts, maybe bringing about a relationship closer. A friendship may be stealing your heart. For some of you, opportunity may be coming from an unexpected source, which is always really cool for you. You always love that kind of like just jazzed up energy. It really heightens your energy. Both short and long distance travel may be expanding your circle of friends and potential partners. So you're attracting a lot of attention as you're traveling. For many of you, you're just you're very, very magnetic in this energy. For some of you that really want to attract some sort of monetary gain and some opportunity in monetary gain, I would definitely just look incredible, be attractive, flirt, have a good time, because opportunity will seem to be attracted to you like a magnet in the area that you value most. You may feel deeply understood in this energy, as a lot of this energy is sitting in Aquarian energy. You're attracting that partner you were hoping to attract. They just get you. You feel very cosmically bonded to this person, very fated type union. For some of you who are caught in the negative vibration, this drastic change is really expanding a comfort zone for you. So deep down, you may be feeling a little bit vulnerable, and you don't want others to see that side of you. This is softer side energy, and this is very emotionally revealing energy. This is where you've suffered before. So for some of you that are opening up to relationships and opening up to new people, they're pulling out some of these areas where you may have suffered, and they're really causing you to open up, and that's releasing a lot of this energy. It's like the dam releasing some of the water that's built up, and it's taking some of the pressure off. But before you do that, there's a sense of insecurity and vulnerability in that, which can put you a little bit off color, and you don't feel as in control when you are being revealed to this degree. So responsibilities may be changing in a job during this time of expansion as well. Lots of changes could be going on in your job. Lots of opportunity, lots of expansion. And as you're going through this, these changes you adapt well to change, but you want to control it to a degree. You like to direct your energy, and these changes are happening to you whether you want them to or not, and that doesn't always feel the most aligned. So for some of you, what's deeply hard about this is you're involved in a yod, and your energy is very, very involved in a yod. There's a question going on from the universe. It is helping you move away from rituals and the way that you stand in your own way, and the way you limit your potential, and the way that you create routines that don't serve you anymore. You're moving away from that, and you're opening yourself up to all of this change. For some of you that are going toward the sextile, going toward the positive energy. And as you're doing that, that's just really attracting like lots of conversation, lots of friends, lots of stimulating energy. And but it's also creating, for some of you who have been really caught up in a routine for a very long time, this energy is a little bit, feels not as good or aligned for you as you would ideally like it to be. So that's when Saturn, your other ruler, comes in And it is actually squaring off with this event, which is making you feel vulnerable and scattered, and there's a lot of anxiety, and there's the need to take control, to take control and to harness water energy and dam it all up. You want to dam up your water energy. That's probably the worst thing that you can do in this energy, because as we build a dam, the pressure will start to build and build and build on water energy, which is your emotion. So be mindful of what you're damming up, because that can create that area of suffering and silence, and you're becoming more and more susceptible to your mind. Then you start to isolate yourself and want to hold back, and don't get lost in that, because this energy is all about embracing Aquarian energy in its fullest, in its most ripe form. Being assertive, being out there, standing out. And if you're isolating yourself and protecting yourself, then you're going to find that you're going to lower your vibration, and you are going to have one hell of a transit, because this is going to really create a lot of suffering, and you're going to have to lick your own wounds in this energy. And who wants to do that when so many people are out there? This is a universal love type energy. There's lots of healing if you turn to somebody else. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi Pisces, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun in Pisces aligning with Neptune in Pisces. Okay, so this whole event's going down in your first house. This is all about you. This is all about making you shine. So even though you're straying from some of your comfort zones, for some of you, a partner is going to ground your energy and make you feel better. They're going to make you feel confident. This is about stretching your boundaries, stretching your comfort zones. This is about fully embracing what it's like to have new concepts and new ideas, and to feel like you're actually marching toward the potential in those energies. You're starting a new chapter in your life. This is a big deal. You're ending something, and you're at that beginning, that point in your life where it starts to manifest a different life for you. You're beginning a new chapter, and you're putting the old chapter on the shelf. You feel it. The energy that has been leading you to this destination has been building for some time, and right now, today is the new beginning for you. This officially is your new year, because anytime all this stuff is happening like this for you, this is the beginning. So for many of you, I feel like you are deeply aligned with your purpose. You're deeply aligned with the direction that it's going. You're feeling very confident. You're feeling very loved. You feel like really letting people in and get to know you. You're just feeling super happy, because your ruler, Neptune, is in conjunct with the Sun, and Chiron is playing into all this. So this is releasing you. It seems like you've been swimming upstream for a while, but now you're the fish out there just swimming in the water, and it's perfect, and nobody's throwing in those lures to try to lure you to bite onto something that isn't ever going to work out. There's no more sparkly, confusing lures for you. One thing that does have me a bit concerned for you, and I want you to be mindful of it, is as you're embracing your intuition and your gut, and you're being guided, and you're having peace with the fact that everything is just going to work out no matter what change is thrown at you, as radical as the changes that you're making are, you feel divinely guided. However, you have to be mindful of being idyllic in this, just too idyllic in this energy, or idealistic in this energy, idyllic. The reason I'm saying this is because Saturn is going to be squaring off with all this energy, which suggests to me that it's in your career life path destiny. So be mindful of people starting to take advantage of the fact that you're kind of, I'm not going to say that you're gullible, but there is a gullible content to this, content to this. how can I say this without it coming off harsh? Just be mindful of the fact that you've went through everything you've went through and you've learned a lot. And if your gut says, maybe not, no matter how good it sounds, follow your gut in this energy, because you are being divinely guided. And there is a lot of people going to prey off of the fact that you are willing and open and able and receptive to energy. So you're going to be attracting a lot of people to you. There's going to be a lot of different sources you're going to have to contemplate, probably outside of your comfort zone. So it's going to be, for some of you, this is going to be about building the word life experience. It's street smarts for you, for some of you. So even though intuitively you usually make good decisions, you're going to be attracting a lot. So how you utilize your energy can be a bit confusing in this energy. Just be mindful of that. I do deeply believe that for the most part, this is a lovely, lovely aspect for you. At times, a partner may be a bit of a wet blanket and try to keep you too grounded. I would actually listen, because somewhere between your partner's opinion and your opinion is where I believe is where you're going to be divinely guided to go. So if a partner is like obsessively saying no, 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 and you're feeling yes, 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 in the middle of there is the direction to go. If you come up against resistance, there's a reason. And just keep your rose-colored glasses off in this energy, and know that there's more to contemplate in energy, and just be very patient and have the belief system that whatever's manifesting in your life, just be patient with it and know that it'll inevitably come to you if it's fated to be. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event.